Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Melchizedek Chronicles. I am your host, Kenny Williamson, and it's good to be back. I've got another podcast to talk about today, or another subject in a podcast to talk about today. It's going to be a little bit talking about the spaceship or comet named 3I Atlas that's supposedly headed on its way to Earth. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Before I do that, if you may or may not have noticed, I had a new intro music right there to the podcast. A friend of mine made that for me on his computer, and I own it. And the reason for that is some of my other intro music, I have purchased rights to use it from Audio Jungle and some other ones. And this latest one that I've been using is called News Intro. It's pretty good sounding. Spotify has now flagged me for that and said that I can't use it. It's, even though I bought the license to use it for an intro to a podcast, they're saying that I can't use it. So they have blocked one and possibly other podcasts that have that intro in it. So this latest podcast that I did was called Comments on the Show. I initially uploaded it, and it said it was published, and then I got an email from Spotify that said, hey, this has been blocked because you don't have the rights to use that piece of sound. So I replied, you could appeal it. So I appealed it and said, yes, I do have a right to use it, and I can prove it. I have the receipt where I purchased it. And so they said, well, all you can do right now is either delete it and re-upload it without it. So, I'm not that technologically advanced over here, but I was able to take that podcast and just basically cut all that front off. So then when I re-uploaded it, it just is me sitting here with no intro, right? So they accepted that. And now at the end of that podcast, the music played very lightly in the background for like a few seconds. And apparently their AI can distinguish that is the same sound again. But it took it a little while, so I uploaded it, and it got, a few hundred downloads in a day or two, and then blocked again. So it's been blocked again. Okay, and the podcast, it's not that great of a podcast probably, but it's me talking at the end with this music very low in the background, so there's no way to edit it out because it's all mixed together. I recorded it live and was playing the music at the same time. So, hey, that same podcast is up on YouTube. It's up on Rumble. And so, people can hear it there if they want to. But Spotify has blocked it. So, they sent me another thing in the email saying, hey, you disagreed with us that you have this, you're filing an appeal. So what proof do you have? So I gave him, I showed them the receipts of where I purchased this stuff to be able to use it. Right? I thought that's what it's for. And so I've sent it to them, and of course, no reply. But meanwhile, they've blocked stuff. So I don't know which other ones they've taken down. Who knows? So I have a friend that makes beats and stuff. I don't know how to do that, but he does. And I asked him about it, and he said, well, I'll just make you something. So he made it for me. You can't get it anywhere else. It's made just for me. So if the AI for Spotify is listening to this, I own it. Okay? There is no copyright unless it's mine. So don't even think about flagging it and claiming that I don't have rights to use it when I own it. Okay? And I'm offering it out here for free, and I don't care who copies my stuff. Copy it, distribute it, go ahead. So it's just weird how that stuff happens. I was using a different platform to host this thing, and then basically Spotify talked me into using them because it's free and it has all these other options, but there's no way to communicate with anybody. Nobody knows anything, And if you have any problems, they shut you down, and you can't actually call and talk to any tech support or anything. They don't allow it. You can do some chatting, but the people on the chat, I mean, they know less than my cat outside. They know nothing. If you tell them that something like this happens, all they say is, have you rebooted your computer? Well, what version are you running? What's your iOS you're running? Well, what Safari are you running? What's this? What's that? Well, have you tried it on a different computer? Well, upload all new software and do it again. It's like, dude, you blocked me. It has nothing to do with my software. But anyway, they know absolutely nothing over there. I figured that out. So, having said all that, again, so that's another intro. I'm gonna start using that because you just can't trust it. On these other ones that I've paid for, I've had YouTube do the same thing, and they threw up a flag and said I was trying to steal people's work, and it's like those little intros are available online for you to purchase and use, and you can't steal them because I can't anyway, because if you try to listen to them, they put, like when you're listening to it on the app, it's like it's playing the music and it says Audio Jungle in it over and over and over, advertising, right? But if you pay for it and download it, that's removed, which is what I did. I paid for it, I downloaded it, and used it. And then they throw up a deal that says you can't use that. It's copyrighted. It's unbelievable. So anyway, I guess that's what the internet is these days. You've got to be real careful. You can't use or say anything that's copyrighted because somehow this AI will track you down. And it's like, well, I paid for it, but they're like, oh, who cares if you paid for it? You can't use it. So anyway, 3-eye Atlas. If you have not heard of this, this is one of the deals they've been talking about. I mentioned it on a couple of previous podcasts. They claim that we have it depends on who you talk to, okay? Some of them are saying that it's a comet. Some of them are saying that it resembles a spaceship or something weird that's not a comet. So, for an example, I don't know if you can see this or not. If this is audio only, you can't see this, but this is a picture of the alien ship that was coming to Earth in the movie Star Trek: The Voyage Home. Okay, so they're on their way back from saving Spock, right? And they show up to Earth, and this long cylindrical spaceship that's supposedly a probe, okay, is sending a signal down to Earth wanting to communicate with the whales. And the whales, at this time in the future, according to Star Trek, have went extinct. So this probe has traveled to talk to these whales. So apparently, according to the movie, of course, these whales have lived millions of years, because it's all about fake space. It's all about evolution. That's what all these movies promote. So it comes back and it's looking to talk to the whales because it talked to the whales millions of years ago. And of course, the whales are nowhere around. They're extinct. And this probe is disrupting the Earth, and it's basically going to destroy the Earth. And so, of course, Captain Kirk and Spock and all them, they go back in time, because they can go back in time in the future too. They go back in time and they pick them up some whales and bring them forward in time so this probe can talk to the whales. Okay, that's a Star Trek movie, right? Okay, it's fake. But it's funny because, and I'm going to do some correlations on one of my next podcasts of how Hollywood comes out with something so ridiculous and so bizarre at the time, okay, just like this. And people are like, aha, it's a Star Trek movie. It's fake, right? And then so many years later, here we are. And guess what? We've supposedly got a alien probe headed this way. Guess what it's shaped like? Like this. Long, skinny, very reminiscent of a Star Trek probe. So, hey, Hollywood got it right again. Hollywood just keeps getting it right. I mean, they filmed something like Soylent Green. So many years later, come to find out, hey, possibly people are in the food. And we've got them on and on and on. So I think what they do is they tell you what they're doing or going to do, or they tell you about something, but because it's in a movie, you're like, oh, that's not real. And so it kind of desensitizes you. And so then when it really happens, you're just like, what? I thought that was a movie or whatever. So I've got a whole bunch of those that I'm going to talk about here in another podcast, because I'm going to do a podcast on Garth Brooks. And that's a spoiler on that one, a spoiler alert. But he's been accused of being a serial killer. Okay? Not like openly by the law, but people believe it. So we're going to talk about that in another podcast. But anyway, so this thing, that's the alien probe right there. Okay, let me get back off of that screen. So this, and if you can see this is a picture of multiple alien probes. And this one right here, which I'm circling with my mouse, if you can even see that. I don't know if you can. Maybe you can. Anyway, this one that's a long, weird-looking one here, I'm going to click on it. This is the one they claim, here we go, is what the one looks like is coming to us now, which is, they keep in mind they can't draw it exactly the same, or everybody would be, they'd be like, are you kidding? But here's a picture of it. It's long, they've kind of knocked the edges off to make it look like a rock, but you get the picture. Okay, it's a long, cylindrical-looking something, and they claim that's on the way to Earth. So, let's see. Let's get over here to see some of the other stuff. So, what I believe it is, and others, is another one of these alien psyops. Okay, here in the last year or two, they have been really pushing aliens, claiming that the government knows all about them. They've had them for years. They know all about it. Everything's true. Aliens exist. And, a big portion of that is to fool you. And I believe that sometime in these last days' deception, aliens are going to pop up. I don't know for sure, but that's a theory, that these aliens are going to all of a sudden show up and land on Earth and be like, oh, we've been watching you for years, and, billions of years ago we seeded the planet, and everybody's going to fall for it hook, line, and sinker. And as soon as they believe that, God goes out the window, see, because they're going to believe that Earth was colonized by aliens and produced and all this stuff over billions of years. So there goes God. And I believe that majority of your churches, your church buildings, let me say, most of your big church buildings are going to fall for this hook, line, and sinker. And they'll probably be teaching before long that there is no God in the church. That's what I think. I mean, a lot of them are already there. You've got a whole bunch of them now. I mean, you can watch them. Somebody will go into these, they've got these new age churches where it's all ran by women, and they're all lesbians, and they're dressed like men, and some of them are dressed like men, like women, or whatever. And you go in there and mention Jesus Christ, they're like, get out. They're like, Jesus Christ, he's too judgmental. We don't judge here. This is a church. I thought a church was supposed to be teaching God's word. Well, what you're doing goes completely, blatantly against God's word. But see, hey, do you really think a bunch of these people want to know God's word? Of course they don't. They've got itching ears. Okay, they want to be told really good things, that they can do anything they want. And that's what they're doing. So when this alien ship shows up, okay, and a fake alien gets out, which is really a demon or a fallen angel, because there's no such thing as outer space, and there's no such thing as any of this stuff, well, people are going to fall for it hook, line, and sinker, and they're going to be like, oh, there's an alien out here. Well, see, I knew it. There's no God. Aliens did it all. Aliens built all these pyramids and stuff. Aliens, you know. Aliens. So here's another picture, you know, if you can see this. And it basically looks like a bunch of lights in a long, oblong-looking whatever that is. Okay, and they claim that's rushing through space to us right now. Okay, that's what they're claiming. So, now Grok, which is Elon Musk's thing, he says this video here doesn't match official NASA imagery of this comet 3I Atlas. It says, which shows a teardrop-shaped bluish cloud dust. And it claims that that picture appears to be CGI or edited from a UFO conspiracy source, not real astronomical footage. The comet itself is real, however, and it's interstellar, according to NASA. Now, when I read that, you might as well have said, the comet is real, according to the Easter Bunny. I mean, the comet is real, according to the Tooth Fairy. Okay? The comet isn't real, and the Tooth Fairy isn't real. And NASA isn't real. Okay? They're liars. They were founded by atheists and devils and devil worshippers, and that's what they still are. So, you can't believe a word they say. You never have been able to. I mean, they're basically proven liars at this point, and you can go look at all the evidence on that. So, but according to NASA, okay, according to NASA, this thing's coming towards the Earth, and it's interstellar, meaning it supposedly came from outside of our solar system. Okay, so this thing's from way out there. That's what makes it so important, see? That's how come it could be a ship coming to visit us. Okay? Now, let's see. Let's get rid of that real quick. I think we're back on our regular video, aren't we? Yeah. So, to add a little more to the ridiculousness of this whole thing, okay, we have a Harvard professor. Okay, and what is he? He's some kind of an astrologist over there. Let's see what he is here. Let me click on this here. He's an astrophysicist. That's what he is. And what he's done is he's created a video, which you can go watch. I'll show you a picture of it right here, if you can see it, that is. There he is right there. He's Professor Avi Loeb. I guess that's how you pronounce his name. And it's supposed to get here on October 29th of 2025. And he is claiming that this is a spaceship. High probability, okay? And he says that this 3I Atlas is an interstellar object from beyond our solar system, and it's closing in very fast, okay? And he says he thinks that it's aliens, and that basically aliens are going to show up on the 29th of this month, because this is October 2025. This is October what, 21st? And he says they're going to be here October 29th, okay, in this ship, this comet. NASA says it's a comet. Other people are saying it's a ship, okay? So he says you might as well take your vacation right now if you have one before the 29th. He says because he doesn't think money, there's going to be any meaning to money anymore after the 29th if this object turns out to be technological like he thinks it is. So according to this Harvard, okay, Harvard, that means smart, right? Astrophysicist, take your vacation now, because if this thing really has aliens in it, when it shows up on the 29th, there'll be no need for money or anything because they're going to wipe all that. They're going to eradicate the need for money and disease. I mean, they're either going to wipe us out or they're going to come in and help us to the point where we're like in Star Trek. In Star Trek, they don't have money. They don't need money. They're beyond money. Why they're out there flying around in ships doing all this work, I don't know, because you're not getting paid to do it. So I don't know why you do it, but that's the new alien thing, I guess. So this thing's on the way. He thinks it's aliens. He's on X telling people, take your vacation because, if it gets here and it's got aliens in it, it's over. So I don't know what you think of that, but number one, I don't believe, you already know what I believe. Okay, I believe that outer space is fake. All the stars, everything you see is in a firmament above the earth that God put there. There is no ever expanding anything. When he completed it on the sixth day, it was finished. He rested on the seventh. All biblical. This stuff here is all fake NASA lies is what this is. This, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, this is the kind of stuff that NASA thinks is keeping them relevant. Okay? Because guys like myself, or let's say not even like me, okay, not like me, because I'm different, right? Let's say a normal person. They don't want a normal person to start thinking, why are we paying you? Why do you need $73 million a day in our tax money? What are you doing with it? What are you doing with all these billions and billions of dollars? Where's it going? Oh, we like to sit around and eat, drink coffee and eat donuts. And, talk about the moon landing. Seriously? Wait a second on that. Do you realize that NASA claims there's another moon now, right? Now we have two moons. Haven't you seen it? Neither have I. I haven't seen it. But according to NASA, there's two moons now. Okay? Two. So, yeah. Is this another one of those is NASA relevant things? So I think they're trying to come up with all kinds of garbage to try to stay relevant. Okay? And I say try because I don't believe that they were ever relevant. Ever. They've always been liars. So now we've come up with a ship coming to Earth. Could be a ship, may not be a ship. Could be this, could be that. Yeah. So one of the things that was breaking news the other day, according to NASA, this was breaking news. This is breaking. The Earth now has two moons, as confirmed by NASA. So NASA says we have two moons now. Okay? I guess it's another something that's come into orbit around the Earth, see, and it's another moon. So we have two moons. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, they're telling you the truth. The funny thing is we have old Matt, what's his name? Matt Gaetz? He was the one that was going to be the Attorney General. He's a real big popular Republican. And I'll share the screen just so you can see it. If you can see that right there. He says on here, should we fake a moon landing on the second one now? Matt, okay, this guy is like a government guy. NASA claims there's two moons now. So he says, should we fake another moon landing on the second moon now? We faked it on the first one. So why not fake a second one? We've got two moons. Let's claim there's an astronaut on that moon. I mean, yeah, what this is trickery. Okay. And there's lots of people falling for this junk. And I've got a Bible app here pulled up here, which, well, I'll share it just so you can see it, if you can see it. Oops, no, that's not it. That's not it. Where is that? No, that's not it. Wrong one. Hold on a second. Maybe you can't see it. Anyway, so what does it say here? Let's see. It says, well, if I could get it to pull up, I had it pulled up right here, and I don't know why we're not pulling up again. Hold on, let me minimize it. Drag it over here. There we go. Okay, so right here in 2 Thessalonians, it's talking about even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. So, signs in the air, lying wonders. This is one of the lies. This is a lying wonder right here. Okay. And with all deceivableness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth that they might be saved. So in other words, hey, you're never going to know the true truth, I don't think, unless you were saved. So you need to get saved right off the bat. But, they received not the love of the truth because they weren't saved. And for this cause, God shall send them a strong delusion that they should believe a lie. So if God sends you the delusion, you're done. Okay? I hope you understand that. If you fall for some hogwash from NASA, and then you realize, because you hear it from me or somebody else, that they're lying to you, and you figure that out, you can bounce back. You can bounce back from that. But if you're so far gone because you're a lunatic left or whatever you are, okay, you're ate up so bad that God sends you a delusion, that's hard to bounce back from, boy. You ain't coming back from that. When God decides he wants to send you a delusion and trick you, you're tricked. I don't know how you come out of it. I really don't. When the all-powerful King of Kings and Lord of Lords sends you a delusion so that you can believe a lie, he wants you to believe the lie because you're so ate up. He's like, go ahead. You're so ate up that he sends you the delusion so you can believe it. You're toast. You're toast is what you are. You're never coming out of it. How could you? God sent it to you. And if God sends you the delusion in order for you to believe a lie, like a fake spacecraft coming down to Earth or aliens coming out, and he sends it to you so you can believe it, you're done. Okay? Yeah. You will be in hell shortly. Okay? Sorry. I'm sorry for you, and I wish it wasn't the case. Okay? And like some of, like these comments that I was telling you about, people are like, you need to do this. I'm warning you. This is your warning. Okay? If you're not saved, this is your wake-up call. Okay? This is it right now. Get saved before it's too late. Tomorrow could be too late. Any day, right now, could be too late. Don't wait. Do it now. Because these clowns here online, these astrophysicists, which is nothing but garbage, in my opinion, fake. But, hey, they're saying take your vacation before the 29th because something could happen. Think about that. There's going to be a time when something does happen, and it may not happen the 29th, and I hope that it doesn't. But they're going to pull a big shenanigan here real soon. They are. They pulled one, the scamdemic, here a while back, a few years ago. Worked out real well for them, for a lot of people. In fact, there's a lot of people still in line for that fakeness. They're still talking about it. They're still wanting you to get the stuff. And people are still bought into it. It's like, I don't know how dumb you have to be to do it, but hey, whatever. That's another one of those things. Is God sending you a delusion? He must be. He's allowing you to believe a lie. He's not correcting you. I mean, I know better. Most people know better. Lots of people know better. But there are those, they are still in line. It doesn't matter if it's their 100th rattlesnake bite. They want it. Every time they get it, they get sicker, 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 and sicker, but they just keep going back for more. Why? God only knows. I guess because God must have given them a delusion. They're that ate up. When you're that ate up, I guess there's no point. You're so far gone, you're gone. Ain't no coming back. I don't know. But they're going to start pushing another one. I mean, that's all they talk about. Aliens, pandemics. Aliens and pandemics. I mean, it's like a broken record. So if it's not an alien going to come get you, well, you're going to get sick again. So we need to have you take this. Oh, you don't want to take it? Well, we'll just spray you with this. Oh, well, if that's the case, we'll put it in your water. And if you don't do that, we're going to put it in your toothpaste, and we're going to put it in your dental floss. And in fact, we'll just start injecting the meat at the supermarket. So everything you do, you're going to get something. No matter what you do. They're going to put it in everything. So the only thing you can do is pray to God for protection from it. That's what I do. I pray that God protects me, my family, my friends, and all Christians from the government shenanigans. And I'll tell you what you won't find here on this channel is you're not going to find a bunch of fake bull manure, okay? Like you do on all the other so-called Christian channels. That all they do is they lie. They lie like dogs. And that's why I call them out on these Prophecy Watcher magazines all the time. They're in these magazines lying like dogs. And people are like, oh, Kenny, you're too judgmental. Well, I'm listening to these other preachers like Born Again Barbarian. You think I call people out. He calls them devils and liars to their faces, just boom, boom, boom all day long. I was watching one the other day where we've got Tucker Carlson on there and Alex Jones on there, and he calls them both devils and liars and says they're not saved. Well, why? Because they're telling you lies. They sit there and start talking about the Bible and says, now listen, Tucker says, I'm not a theologian. Now, I'm not a theologian, but the rapture's fake, this and that, and just goes down this whole list of all the stuff you shouldn't be believing as a Christian. But he just said he's not a theologian. He has zero training, doesn't even read a Bible. Not saved. You can tell by what he's saying he's not saved. Everything they say is backwards. Any wonder? Well, they're on a huge platform like that. What do you think they're going to tell you the truth? No, they're not. So everything is ridiculous. Everything's dumb. Everything in the Bible, everything is backwards. They talk like they're saved, but they don't understand what they're talking about. So, it's just, and here a while back I was following one, and of course, hey, maybe you like the guy. I don't know. But he's on one that supposedly Christian. And maybe he is. Maybe he's just dumb as a rock. I don't know. But, he gets on there. It's called Monkey Works. Oh, he's big. He's going to these different deals and talking. He's got a big channel because he's sit rep is what he calls it. He's showing all these planes and stuff. Anything that you can do online yourself with the plane finder and all that. He's not doing anything you can't do. Okay? And then somebody talks about the chemtrails. Oh, now there's no such thing as chemtrails. That's ridiculous. Those are contrails. Those are contrails. See, I know because I was in the military and I've got a blah, blah, blah. And my name... No, Mr. Monkey Works, you are a liar, aren't you? Now, are you really a Christian? Okay, if you are, let's back up. Either you're completely delusional, you're a blooming idiot, well, you're a liar. Now, surely a liar wouldn't, surely a Christian's not going to sit there and lie like a dog, lying like a rug, because that's what you're doing. And we've got proof of it now. They've got proof there were chemtrails to begin with. But as soon as this government shut down, get on X and look it up. Even here, I live not very far from an airport. Airplanes fly over all day long. Guess what? There's not a single contrail in the sky. After the government shut down, all the contrails disappeared. Now, how is that, Mr. Monkey Works? Can you explain that, Mr. Know-It-All? They're just contrails. They're just contrails. Well, the jets are still flying, but they're not producing contrails anymore. How is that possible? And it's not just here. You go on X and look it up. People are taking pictures of the sky all over the United States saying, wow, look at the skies. Completely, totally clear. Not a single contrail in the sky. People are saying, wow, this sky looks like the 90s when I was growing up, which there was no contrails back then. In the 80s, see, this Monkey Works, he thinks we're all idiots. That's what he thinks. See, he has a channel, calls himself Monkey Works, and claims to be a Christian, but everybody else is now an idiot. See, he calls guys like me idiots. Well, he doesn't come right out and say it. What he does is he says, Kenny, there's no such thing as chemtrails. You're a conspiracy theorist. They're contrails. All jets make contrails. Don't you know that? And it's like, well, Mr. Monkey Works, they had jets when I was a little kid too. But you know what they didn't have? Contrails. There were never any lines in the sky. Ever. But jets were flying. Now, every once in a while, you would see a jet flying, and it would have a contrail behind it. And as the plane flew, it was just right behind it, and it just disappeared as fast as it flew away. It never lingered. That's a contrail. If you see a little bit coming out, and it just completely disappears as the plane keeps flying, that's a real contrail. That's water vapor. And it goes away. Not something that stays for days, that goes into a line and disperses into a fog, and pretty soon the whole entire sky is grayed out. Get real. Would you just get real? So anyway, see, you're not going to hear that bull here where I try to tell you and lie to your face, oh, don't worry, those aren't contrails. Or those aren't chemtrails, those are contrails. That's normal. It's normal for them to fly airplanes in a bridge type pattern, like a back and forth, left, right, that looks like a checkerboard. Okay? Looks like a search pattern. And fog out the whole entire sky and turn it where you can't see the sun. Oh, that's completely normal. Planes fly that way in a checkerboard fashion. They don't fly from point A to point B anymore. They come here, then turn around and go back, and everything's spaced out in perfect lines. And then when that's not good enough, then they're all flying the other direction. And pretty soon it looks like a giant checkerboard or chessboard in the sky of chemtrails. And then, of course, people underneath get sick, and their throat starts hurting, and their nose starts running. But don't worry, Monkey Works said it's strictly contrails, and you're an idiot if you believe otherwise. So, right. Sure. Tell us another one. Okay? Tell us all about the contrails. Tell us all about the aliens coming to visit us. Spaceships from Mars. Is that what it is now? Well, no, this one's not from Mars. This one's Interstellar. Interstellar. Now, does Hollywood have a movie named Interstellar? Of course they do. Of course they do. Does Hollywood have a fake space show that has a ship that looks like this one? Well, of course they do. Star Trek. This one could be a probe. And the other day I watched a deal where this guy, supposedly from CERN, you've heard of CERN, right? He says that they have opened a portal with CERN and they are communicating with the aliens on that ship. So they're saying it's a ship, and there are aliens on the ship. And somehow at CERN, they have opened a portal to communicate with said aliens. And he says these aliens are projecting themselves as a 3D projection, a hologram projection, so you can see what they look like, and they're really tall and slender. Seriously? So, I mean, obviously that's a lie. Now, if this guy is seeing these things, he's seeing fallen angels or demons. He's seeing devils, demoniacs. That's what he's seeing. But isn't it funny that, their holographic projection is how they're producing them? Because you can't really see them, so they have to give you a hologram to show you what they look like. Well, we have holograms right here on Earth. We have machines that do that. We have 3D holographic projectors, very nice ones. So how would a normal person know if an alien is projecting the hologram or the dude in the back room behind the curtain is projecting the hologram? Which one is it? Well, I can tell you it's the dude in the back room behind the curtain, because there's no such thing as aliens. Okay? But that's how they're going to get you. They're going to put it all over. They're going to claim there's a ship coming. They're going to have people claim they're talking to the people on the ship, the aliens, and then pretty soon the dang thing's going to show up, and it's going to land probably on the White House lawn and probably shake Trump's hand. Who knows? Who knows what they're going to show? But, we've got to get to this end time deal soon. We've got to get to a one world government. We've got to get to one world money. We've got to get that temple built over there somewhere. That's how the Antichrist takes over. So this stuff has got to be put in place. And, hey, we got to have a peace treaty. We got to have this. We got to have that. Well, if nobody trusts a man good enough to do it, an alien may have to do it. An alien from outer space. He can take care of us. That's why all Hollywood is fake space movies. Majority. I mean, they've got lots of them. That's all they push is Earth was seeded by aliens. There is no God. You evolved from nothing. That's the whole theme. That's all they talk about. That's all NASA talks about. This interstellar ship or comet has been traveling for billions of years to get here. Billions of years? Well, the Earth's only 6,000 years old. Oh, that's right. You're an atheist and a liar and godless. So, of course, billions of years, of course. So, anyway, what it boils down to is you can't believe a single word that they say. Okay? They're liars. Proven liars. So, and I believe this 3-eye atlas is just another one of the shenanigans that they're trying to pull. Just, they're doing them back to back to back. So, anyway, that's what the 3-eye atlas is if you haven't heard of it. So, again, they're claiming that by the 29th of this month, you better have taken your vacation, because if this thing shows up and it's technological, it's all over. Right, of course. Now they may claim it. They may show you some fake holographic AI image, but that's all it'll be. Or if something does really show up, it will be a fallen angel. Okay, it's not going to be an alien from outer space, but he's not ever going to tell you he's a fallen angel. If they told you that, then they'd have to admit the Bible was real. And they're trying to get you away from that, so they can't you admit what it really is, so they have to claim it's an alien. That's the only way some other life form can show up that knows something that we don't, is it has to be an alien. There's no way it can be a fallen angel from the Bible, because, see, then it would make the Bible true. And then people would say, what? The Bible's true? Oh, my goodness, I was wrong. So, no, it's not a fallen angel. It's not a demon. Oh, no. This has nothing to do with the Antichrist, folks. This is an alien from outer space. From a galaxy far, far away. Okay? And if you believe that, well, You know, you've heard that old saying, I've got a bridge I'd like to sell you. I've got some oceanfront property I'd like to sell you right here in Arkansas. Okay. Ain't no such thing. Okay. But whatever. So having said that, thanks for listening. I'm gonna put my music back in there, my closing deal here, because this is music I own, AI. If you're listening, non-copyrighted. Anyway, it's only a few more days, and I'm going to be at a Truther Conference, TrutherCon 2025 in Dallas, Texas. Go check out that website if you're interested in going. But I plan on taking a lot of notes and talking to people, and I'm sure I'll have plenty to talk about. Hopefully a bunch of new podcast ideas. Anyway, stay tuned, because we have, like I said, I've got another one coming up about Garth Brooks. Serial killer Garth Brooks. You be the judge. Pretty interesting. We're going to tie in some movie stuff into that one too. Like I say, Hollywood shows you what they're going to do or tells you what's happening, and then they do it. Okay. Anyway, I think that's it. If you are on Spotify, please like and share it. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe. And I also have a Rumble as well that I've been uploading videos to, trying to catch up. And the reason I'm having to catch up, make a long story short, is because my internet is very, very slow here. So I have had to upgrade my internet to Starlink. Now, we can talk about Starlink later. Do I believe that there's satellites in outer space? No. Do I believe that there's satellites anywhere? No. I have a theory of how Starlink works, but it's not from satellites. Okay, regardless of what they tell you. But it does work, and it is about 3 times faster than what I had, so I'm able to upload something in 30 minutes instead of 3 hours. So that's a plus. Anyway, thanks for listening. Again, my name is Kenny Williamson. Check us out. Check our, what have we got? We've got Flat Earth, itsflatbro.com, truthseekersministry.org, kennywilliamson.com. Go check that out if you're interested. Thanks again for listening, and God bless you.